What's up guys, my name is Ace, and welcome back to Maps Exposed. This is the series where I cover all the lines of sight, wall runs, as well as any other secret spots that I know of on every map in Infinite Warfare. In today's episode, we're going to be covering the third of the Sabotage DLC maps, and that is Neon. Let's get into it. Alright guys, so I got a ton of great spots for you today. First up, if you are hanging out on this balcony here, trying to challenge people on that balcony right there, I've got a great alternative line of sight, so you're not out in the open, they probably won't even see you back here, and for a lot of them, they won't realize they can shoot you. If you're back in this area right here, you can just shoot straight through this glass, you'll lose very little bullet damage, and you'll be able to pick people off that are on that balcony. Another thing you can do from this balcony is you can jump up on this railing right here, and that gives you a nice line of sight into the doorway to the club right in there. You are pretty exposed up here, but it is a very good situational line of sight. Now getting over to this area here, if you're coming from this direction and you have enemies that are up on that balcony area there, which is relatively common, there's not the greatest cover to really challenge them. You don't have anything you can really hide behind. I guess this is maybe your best bet, but it's still not that great. What I like to do is hop up on this right here, and then just strafe my way over towards like this corner of that box, and there you go. You get a great line of sight over there. You can crouch to take cover, stand up, and you can easily pick them off there. Now this next spot I have for you is like a hiding spot. It would be great for infected once this eventually gets in rotation for infected, possibly for search and destroy as well. If you just want to stay hidden and let your enemies like get past you without knowing that you're here, what you can do is you can just drop off the edge right here, and you just catch this wall run, and you can go back and forth like this. You don't need propulsion or anything. You can do this without propulsion. There's plenty of time to build your boost back up. Obviously, I would have dead silence on for this because you will be making a lot of noise without dead silence, but you can do that for as long as you want and stay hidden there and then pop up whenever you're ready. You can do a very similar thing on this side of the map by just jumping off and wall running on this wall right here. And again, you can just go back and forth all you want down here. You'll be completely hidden as long as you're low enough, and nobody will know you're there. Also, right here, you can pop up on this railing. You get great cover looking into the street area here. Decent little sniper spot if you can get enemies funneling through that area. Wouldn't camp here all game, but you might be able to pick off a kill or two. Now getting towards the middle of the map, if you're challenging towards this direction and you've got a sniper or just somebody locking down that balcony, which is a very common location, and you're coming from this middle area here, what you can do is you can hop up here and you get a great line of sight through here. You're very difficult to see and you get a great line of sight on their pretty much entire body, and they can just see your head and shoulders here. So you can easily pick them off through there. Just keep in mind you are exposed to anybody that might be coming through there or over there. So I usually use this as a quick check spot, and if there happens to be a guy there, I'll pick him off real quick and then I'll move on. I won't just stand here for long periods of time. Now getting over here, a lot of people don't know that you can actually shoot through this glass right here. So you can hop up into this area, crouch, you get a great line of sight over into the club there, as well as a little bit into the street over in this direction, so you might be able to pick somebody off through there. Just a little alternative into that club. You can jump up on this piece of cover right here, and you get a nice line of sight through there as well. If you wanted to, you could also try that the reverse, especially over towards the B flag area. If you've got somebody that's using that as cover right there, you can challenge them through the glass like that. And over here is kind of a somewhat obvious looking spot, but I really wanted to point it out because it's such a practical line of sight. If you come over to this area right here, you can come up like this. Great little head glitch here. You can see up into the balcony. You can also see anybody that might come wall running through here. This is excellent for opening routes because oftentimes you'll get guys that are coming on that wall run. So you just get to this position here and you can easily pick people off through there. Now an alternative line of sight into the balcony up there is if you jump up on top of this little curved wall thing here and come up to this part right here. There you go. You crouch, you're completely hidden from them, or pretty much completely hidden from them. Stand up, and there you go. Great view over top, and you can easily pick them off. Again, though, this is in a situation where you're going to be very exposed, so I wouldn't be lingering here for too long. Now getting right back here behind the B flag, you can jump up onto this green glass, and you can jump right up into this area right here if you wanted to, and that allows you to have a look over top here and shoot the people there. You are pretty exposed here, but at the same time, they don't usually look for you here, so you might gain an advantage there. It's a little bit better off to come down towards the bottom part of this little curved area though, because that gives you a much better cover looking over top here to that position right there. Now back on these stairs right over here, this isn't a really common area for enemies to be coming through in my experience with this map, but if somebody is going to be coming from there, you can jump up on top of this part and you can shoot through this area right here. So as long as you don't have an energy weapon, as they come around that corner, you can just spray them down through this glass. Now another line of sight from this corner, if you have enemies that are set up on that piece of cover there coming from the club, or if you just think they might be coming through that club area, you can actually jump up on top of this this area right here, and you can look over top of the truck, crouch to take cover, stand up, you got great line of sight on them, and they won't normally look here. Now another line of sight over in this corner here is to get a line of sight on that doorway right there. If you know enemies are going to be coming through there, you can easily get to the top part of this green glass up here. You just jump up into this area right here. You are pretty exposed to most of the street here, so this would be more of a situational thing in like search and destroy, for instance, where you don't expect enemies to be coming mid-street, but you can look over the top of the truck here, get a great line of sight on them, and this is a position they don't normally look, so oftentimes you can pick them off as they come around that corner. One alternative to having a line of sight on that doorway from over in this corner, and this is actually the last spot I have for you today on this map, is to just go prone and shoot underneath this truck. You can just position yourself around the wheels here. You can see their feet. They won't be able to see you at all because their head is going to be up there and they just don't have that angle on you, so you can easily pick them off as they come through that doorway. So one last thing I wanted to cover before we wrap this up is just the generation of the cars as well as the trees on this map. All of these trees get generated as you get close to them or as enemies get close to them. Basically any player on the map, if they get close enough to the trees or the cars at the beginning of a match, it will then spawn those cars in, and it's very, very clear when you see that. And this can be used to find out enemies' positions, especially in Search and Destroy. Now, in respawn game modes, it's going to be pretty chaotic. People are going to be everywhere, and everything's just going to get generated in quickly anyways. But in a round of Search and Destroy, if you want to know if somebody's coming on that wall run over there, you can look up here, and you can see those leaves there. You will actually see that tree generate. And as long as you know that a teammate's not going that area, that means definitely there is an enemy coming on that wall run, because this tree won't generate otherwise. So use those little things to your advantage. Same thing goes with the cars, although like I was saying earlier, the cars tend to generate anyways, so I don't know if you're going to be able to use them too effectively unless you're playing like 2v2 or something like that. If you've got 6 players on the map, yeah, all of these cars are going to generate quickly, but at least for an opening route, like if you're hanging out over in this area off an opening route and none of these cars are generated, but they start generating, that means somebody's coming from this area or from that area towards middle. So there we have it. That's going to wrap it up for Neon. We've got one more map to cover in the Sabotage DLC, and that is Noir. If you guys have missed any of the previous episodes of Maps Exposed, I will leave a link to the playlist down below. Go and check that out, and I've already covered most of the maps. There's still a few of the base maps that I have to get covered as well, and I will be getting those done once we cover Noir first. If you enjoyed the video, a like rating is always appreciated, and don't forget to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.